I'm back, and this time it's personal. Good morning and welcome back to Tips for Young Writers. First of all, apologies for the really long gap between this vlog and the last one and the kind of blizzard of book trailers that have been coming out instead. My webcam, as you may have noticed, was kind of crap and dropped frames so much that it was less of a vlog and more me in a series of strange poses like this. And therefore, I decided to stop making them until my new webcam turned up. So today, I'm going to be talking to you about a subject that's very important to me and personal and close to my heart, which is notebooks. It's a really good idea to develop the notebook habit as early as you can. Let me explain. Writers, as much as we would love to live in our little hermit cave and hunch over our computer all day long, usually have to leave the house at some point for some reason. So in those cases, often your brain will be working on a story while you're working on something else. And in actual fact, when you're distracted, that can be the best time for ideas to come to you. So you are sat on the bus or in a cafe waiting for your friends to turn up, or it's your tea break at work, and suddenly the perfect idea comes to you. The solution to the problem that's been bugging you for weeks. You go over it and over it in your head and you're sure that you have it. Then the tea break bell rings or the bus comes. And guess what? By the time you get home, you will have forgotten. Yes, you will, believe me. And this is where a notebook becomes an indispensable tool. But it's more than that. It's more than just somewhere you can jot notes down. It's also something that can become a source of inspiration to you. So at the moment, I'm working on the sequel to Daughter of the Flame, and wolves are very important in the story. And this is my notebook. And I'm going to show you how I inspire myself to write. So you can see that I have cut out lots and lots of pictures of wolves and put these in the front and back of the notebook so that every time I open it I'm reminded of what's important in the story. And I've also put inspiring quotes in here. For example, we humans fear the beast within the wolf because we do not understand the beast within ourselves. You have my first sort of tentative diagram for how I think the story is going to play out. My first physical descriptions of what the characters will probably look like. Here's a bit more of a complex plot diagram as I started working out how the story would unfold. More description about the characters. A sketch of the heroine in the story. And then that's at the back of the book. So at the beginning of the book is where I scribble all my notes about the story when I'm somewhere that I unfortunately can't get access to my computer. And usually that's the way that I work. I start at the beginning and the end of the book, and when I get the notes to meet in the middle, usually the book is finished. So that's my finely honed notebook technique that I use. When I first started writing, I didn't really use a notebook, and that whole horror story about forgetting scenes happened to me quite a lot. So with The Swan Kingdom, I started using this. A very simple, plain, boring notebook. There's nothing particularly interesting in it, apart from lots and lots of pages that would very embarrass me if anyone ever saw them. Or The Flames has a much thicker notebook as I came to rely on this much more. A map of the country. This did not make it into the book because my publisher doesn't like maps. For those of you who sent me emails asking me why I was too lazy to draw a map, I wasn't. It's here. Now when I came to write my third book, I've seen these beautiful paper blanks notebooks in my local shop. And so I actually went through 3 of these writing Shadows on the Moon because it was such a long book. Planning out how I will write a certain amount of words a week never happened. Personal information on my publisher's website, it says that I have 27 books hidden in my secretaire waiting to write in. That is a lie. I now have over 50. This is my absolute favourite. This is my first paper blanks notebook that I ever bought. It says, if the eyes had no tears, the soul would have no rainbows. And I don't know when I'll ever get round to writing in this one because it is just so beautiful. And I just feel like any story I write would not be beautiful enough to deserve to go in this notebook. So if you are a writer who is having difficulty keeping their ideas together, buy a notebook, shove everything in there. If you are someone who finds it difficult to find time to write, get a notebook, take it with you everywhere, and you will find 5 minutes here or there, and it's amazing how much you can get done. Seriously, I have written whole scenes in 20-minute tea breaks. So that's my tips for young writers this week. Number 1 tip, buy a notebook now. You will grow to love it, and it will be an indispensable tool for you. I hope that's been helpful. Thank you for coming back to Tips for Young Writers this week, and if you would like further information about me or my books or writing or any of that good stuff, you can find my website at www.zoemarriott.com, or you can send me an email here through the YouTube channel.